Hi everyone. Today I wanted to talk about the Netgear Nighthawk X10 AD7200 Smart Wi-Fi router, which is one of the first routers on the market to support 802.11ad. So we'll get into the features of the X10 shortly, but if you're looking for one of the best routers on the market, you're looking to stream 4K, you're looking for gameplay to do untethered VR maybe, or you just want super fast wireless downloads, the X10 should definitely be a router that you check out. So the Nighthawk X10 combines 11AC and 11AD Wi-Fi technologies or standards to offer, again, super fast speeds, and it combines that with a 1.7 gigahertz quad processor. And you might ask, why would I want a processor on my router? I'll get to that a little bit later. Another nice feature about the X10 is that it uses MU-MIMO to allow multiple devices to stream or to send and receive at the same time. Now you might hear that and say, well, so what? I'm streaming or I'm using multiple devices at the same time on my current router, so that doesn't sound all that special. But the difference is that if you're doing that on your current router, it's doing it and it's not using MU-MIMO, then you're doing it in one of two ways. Either your router has a dedicated antenna for each device that's attached, or your router is looping through the devices one at a time and giving each device a little bit of information at a time. Meaning, if you have 4 devices, it sends a little bit over here, 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 and then goes back to the first one, and then continues to loop through them. Now that's not a big deal, or it wasn't a big deal maybe 5 or 8 years ago when you were using like one device at a time. But now realistically, at least at my house, it's not rare that we're streaming to 4 different devices at the same time. And at some point what's going to happen is your devices are going to start lagging because the router can't keep up with the amount of data that each device is demanding. So ultimately what will happen is one or more of your devices are going to start waiting for the data, and then that's where your stream pauses and you have to wait and it's buffering, and then you go ahead and continue to play. So with the X10, you're not going to run into that type of issue. And ultimately what that does is it just makes your network a lot more efficient. So you're not actually increasing the overall bandwidth of your network. It's not that it's faster, it's just being more efficient. Or I shouldn't say it's not faster. It does actually end up being faster because it's more efficient. So in essence, what's happening is your network is just becoming more efficient without you having to increase the overall bandwidth. Another neat thing about the X10 is that it comes with Plex. And if you're not familiar with Plex, it's basically a media server that you can aggregate your movies, any videos that you shot on your phone, photos, etc. And then you can create a server in your network so you can access them from any device, either in your house or not even outside of your house. So basically, it's like creating your own Netflix. And you can go ahead and, again, access this from anywhere that you have an internet connection. And that's the reason, or one of the reasons, why the X10 includes the 1.7 gigahertz quad processor. Up until now, if you wanted to run Plex, you'd have to have a dedicated computer, or not dedicated, but you'd have to always have the software running on a computer or a laptop. And if for some reason that rebooted or went down, then you'd lose access to your Plex media server, of course. And now your router can go ahead and do that for you. So you can connect an external hard drive or a NAS, a network attached storage, and you can use the router and that storage device and run your media server. So the X10 might be intimidating and you might think that setup is super complicated, but Netgear basically took care of it with the Netgear Up app. And you can just download it to your phone and go ahead, and then you can go ahead and use that to do all of your setup. And then you also have all your network information on your phone rather than, maybe writing your wireless password on the chalkboard in the kitchen or something like that. All right, so let's go ahead and open this box up and see what we got in there. As you can see, it's fairly big. Cool looking box. And I'll go ahead and just open it this way. You can see that the X10, I mean, it's a large device, but I mean, we're really asking it to do a lot. So we've got the router. And let's see if there's anything else. There's another box down here. And yep, I think that's it. School box. All right. So some instructions on how to use the Netgear Up app. Basically a notice from Netgear letting you know that you should upgrade to the latest firmware. And that's really with any device you buy. You should always upgrade to the latest firmware. This should be one of the first things that you do. I'm assuming some other product information. Yep, looks like they're talking about their new Arlo cameras as well. And then quick start guide and how to do more with your X10. So that's that. And here got Ethernet cable and your charger. And now that I'm looking at it, I really like the design of this because it actually plugs in this way. So it's not going to block the other outlet or interfere with anything else. So that's kind of neat. All right, let's clean up a little bit. Put all this on the ground. And let's get to the router. Obviously, we've got 4 antennas. And these are active antennas. So they're not screwed into the router. They're actually built in. And they are used to reduce interference and also to extend the range of the router. Super solid, and I think this is the configuration that Netgear wants you to have it in. Obviously, we've got the Netgear, the network name and the password here. I don't really care if you see it because I'm going to change it anyways. And then here, we've got to turn this around so you can see. We've got an LED strip that shows you obviously when it's on, internet connection to different bands, your guest Wi-Fi, whether each of the 2 USB 3 ports that are right here are connected. We'll get to this 10G, and then we've got each of the 6 Ethernet ports. All right, so here's the X10 out of the box. It looks super cool. Of course, none of us really care what our technology looks like. It's just all about function. No, I'm kidding. On top of all this awesome performance, it also looks really cool. So that's just a bonus. We're looking in the back here, and one of the things that I see that I like right away is there's an LED off on or on off button here. And so basically, you're going to be able to turn all these lights off. So if the router is in a place where at night or just in general, you don't want to see all these lights blinking, you can go ahead and turn them off. And that's neat. I haven't had that on any router until now. Not sure it's unique to this one. It's probably not, but I like that feature. I see Ethernet ports back here. And what's really neat is the first 2 ports are, they'll say aggregate. And basically what that means is if you have a NAS or a network attached storage, you can actually connect 2 different Ethernet cables and really maximize your file transfer speed. So it's going to aggregate the speed of both of those ports. So looking inside, we can see a fan. Interested in hearing how loud this cooling fan is, but it's got a processor built in, so it needs to keep it cool, obviously. There's also a 10 gigabit SFP Plus port so if your NAS device actually offers that, you can get even faster speed. Now, I know most people don't have that, but again, it's nice to future-proof your investment here. So if you're buying a router now and it's a high-end router, you might as well have features in it that you may not end up using now, but you'll want later. And I believe this 10 gigabit SFP Plus port is an industry first for a home router. I'm pretty sure that that's right. So there are now two industry firsts on this router. We've got the Plex server, and we've got a super fast connection for any network attached storage. The X10 also has ReadyCloud, which basically is a free service from Netgear that lets you access all of your data from anywhere. Anything that's stored either on one of the two USB 3 or through one of the two USB 3 ports, or on your, again, attached or network attached storage device. So that's a really, really nice feature. Again, it's free from Netgear, and I can definitely see using that. And especially as we grow our channel and we're shooting more and more videos, a network attached storage device is critical when we get to back up our files. And then on top of that, the ability to access them from anywhere is sort of a plus. All right, so you may have noticed that unlike some other reviews, I didn't go too much into the specs, and I just don't want to waste your time with that. You can go read them on the website. I'll put a link in the description where you can get those. It's fast. It's very, very fast, and the specs are super impressive. I just don't want to sit here and read the back of the box to you and waste your time. Another great thing about the X10 is that you can set up a VPN, so you can set up secure file access to, again, either your devices that are attached through the USB 3 or via the LAN cables in the back. But most importantly, you can set up a secure connection to your files from any remote location. In addition to ReadyShare, the X10 router also comes with ReadyShare Vault, which is a backup solution for Windows. So you can plug an external hard drive right into one of the USB 3 ports, and then the software will automatically back up your files for you. So in case there's a hard drive failure or something on your local machine, you always have backup files. So let's talk about who might want this high-end router. If you stream a lot of 4K movies, if you are a gamer, if you're doing VR, if you even shoot a lot of videos on your phone and just want very fast file transfers. Obviously, if you're shooting video or you have a drone, and again, you want to transfer everything on your network fast, those are reasons why you might want this router. On top of that, I want to talk a little bit about how I buy higher end products. So I have a process that I go through, and it's not the same for every product. The outcome is not the same for every product. But in this case, if I'm buying something that's definitely at the upper echelon, but when comparing it to other products on the market, I look at value, and I may say, well, right now there are some features on this router that I'm not going to use. But what I know is that I might use them in a year or 6 months or 2 years. And I'm not going to want to have to buy another router then, because then I just threw away however much money I spent on the original purchase. So to a certain extent, I'm looking at what I'm doing right now and then what I think I'm going to be doing over the next year or so. And so, again, you may not be streaming 4K right now, but you will be. You have a 4K TV. Why did you buy it? There wasn't a lot of content. It's not a lot of 4K content being served, but you know there's going to be, and you don't want to have to buy a new TV in 2 years. So basically, you're buying something, getting ready for what's to come. And Netgear is really ahead of its time with this router, but if I'm going to buy a router now, this is what I want. I don't want something that I'm going to have to replace in 6 months or a year. Even if you're not shooting 4K drone videos, you probably do have multiple devices streaming at the same time. And again, as I said in the beginning, this router really optimizes and makes your network a lot more efficient without increasing the overall bandwidth. So that's really, really important. The price of the X10, currently, I'll put a link in the description. It's $449. It was $499, but it just went down by $50. So again, that's definitely at the higher end of home routers, but you kind of get what you paid for. And like I said, I wouldn't want to buy a router for 200 bucks knowing that in a year I'm going to have to then go buy a $500 router, because now my $500 router just cost me $700. So I'd rather buy it once and have it serve me for years to come. That's just me. All right, so to recap, if you like to have the latest and greatest product, if you're streaming to multiple devices, if you are doing VR, gaming, anything like that, if you like to push your network to its limit, the X10 is definitely something you should check out. Please let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions, or I'd love to hear what you think about the router. Please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel, as we'll be doing an updated video about the X10 and other tech products. And also check us out on Twitter at @TechGearTalk. Thank you for watching, and check out some of our other videos.